And I now give the floor to Her Excellency, the Ambassador from Brazil.
Thank you. Brazil expressed appreciation to the UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, commends the Special Representative Margareta Wallström, and thanks the government of Japan for hosting the conference. Brazil associates itself to the statement made by Costa Rica on behalf of CELAC and would like to make additional comments. While we believe that the zero draft represents a clear improvement in relation to the previous document, more efforts are needed to achieve an ambitious and balanced outcome. We share the view that the draft should be concise and action-oriented, building upon and adding to the Hyogo framework for action, but form should follow substance. It is important to firmly anchor the text in the framework of sustainable development, most notably in the Rio+20 outcome document. The text should therefore clearly depict poverty eradication and reduction of inequality as key priorities for action, recognizing the deep synergies with disaster risk reduction, particularly with regards to developing countries. As it currently stands, poverty eradication and reduction of inequalities are only two among many factors that account for disaster risk. We welcome the proposed chapter on international cooperation and partnerships and the reference to means of implementation, but more needs to be done. We fully recognize that disaster risk reduction remains a primary responsibility of national governments. However, the draft does not contain any reference to commitments on development cooperation undertaken in other UN bodies, especially ODA, to developing countries. We call on the co-chairs to ensure that the current draft is duly aligned with other UN documents on international cooperation and global partnership for development. The use of the terms North-South, South-South, and triangular cooperation does not properly reflect the differences and complementarities between these modalities. The text correctly recognizes that developing countries require support and special attention in the implementation of the disaster risk targets. We reiterate the need for reference to the principles of common but differentiated responsibilities and of respective capacities of developing countries. Finally, Brazil welcomes the draft elements of the Sendai Declaration. While it offers important suggestions on some of the issues addressed in the framework, it still lacks appropriate balance. We believe the text should include language on core principles such as sustainable development and the eradication of hunger and poverty, which have been recognized as central elements for the reduction of risk and vulnerabilities and the construction of more resilient societies. We expect that the outcome document will reflect the views of all actors, including developing countries, but it would be remiss on our part if we did not mention the tight schedule of negotiations ahead. I thank you.
I thank Her Excellency, the Ambassador of Brazil,